Hey guys, good morning, welcome back. My name is Savindi. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe because I'm about to turn your life upside down, I think. Don't panic, it's just a panic attack. Where have I heard that before? Okay, every time I have a panic attack, somebody decides to tell me that it's okay, that it's just a panic attack and you shouldn't be panicking. I used to think that was so cliche, like seriously, bruh, I'm here panicking and you're like, don't panic. That's the most easiest thing to say. But apparently, and I speak with experience when I say this, when you do have a panic attack, it's important to not panic. I cannot believe that I am saying this, but it's actually true. You should not panic when you're having a panic attack. Now, if you clicked on this video, you might be someone who gets panic attacks a lot, or you might be someone who has a friend who has a panic attack, the tendency to get a panic attack. And even if you're not someone who has panic attacks regularly or has never had one, God bless you. Oh my God, you're so lucky. I just want you to know that it's okay to watch this video till the end, please, because you might never know when you might need to help someone recover from a panic attack, because you could be sitting next to a person in the bus and they could be having a panic attack and not know what to do. So it will always help to know what to do, what's a panic attack, and all of that. So in this video, I'm gonna cover 4 categories based on panic attacks. First thing being, what's a panic attack and how do you know you're getting one? The second one being symptoms of a panic attack. Third one is what to do when you have a panic attack, like what are the remedies and what are the sort of things you can do to get out of the system. The fourth one being my personal experience and how I've been dealing with panic attacks and how I felt and so on and so forth. Number 1, what's a panic attack and how do you know you're getting one? So I went on the internet because I don't know necessarily how to explain a panic attack other than the fact that it's your body panicking about something, and apparently that is the simplest way to explain a panic attack. It's just you panicking about something. But if you want the scientific word, like the wordology, a definition, let me quickly read it out for you. A panic attack is a sudden episode of intense fear that triggers several physical reactions when there is no real danger or apparent cause. Panic attacks can be very frightening. When a panic attack occurs, you might think you're losing control, having a heart attack, or even dying. So yeah, in the simpler terms, it's just you panicking about something. And yes, it does feel like you're dying or you're having a heart attack or something like that, and that's why you panic. Now, the real trick here is, out of the title of this video, Don't Panic, You're Having a Panic Attack, is actually very accurate, because when you're having a panic attack, you panic over the top of your body panicking. It's like your body's panicking for something that's happening in the future, that will happen in the future, because you're uncertain about it and stuff, so you're panicking, like your body's panicking, and then you are like, oh my God, I'm dying, so you panic on top of your body panicking. Is this even clear? I don't know. This is really hard to explain, guys, but I'm sorry, I do not want you guys to get a panic attack. It's just that if you do, get one, or you've already gotten a few in the past, you might understand what I'm saying. But if you're like a person who's never got a panic attack, God bless you, you might not understand what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I'm trying to explain it as much as I can. How do you know you're getting a panic attack, right? So certain ways you know is, okay, first of all, why do you get panic attacks? It's the simplest thing to explain is because you're afraid of something. So if you have an exam coming up and you feel like you haven't studied for it, or if you feel like you have to make this really big decision, like am I moving to France or Germany, I don't know, stuff like that. Or if you simply are afraid of like a blood test or like an operation or something like that, or if you have to do something that you're probably afraid to do. Panic attacks are common in those scenarios. It's because you panic about something. It's your body panicking about something. You might even not be afraid, but deep down you might be afraid. Like you think, just a freaking exam, I'm chill. But deep down you're like, trust me, that happens. Or it also can be because you have anxiety, or depression or something, and it just arises. But all the time, like 99% of the time, it's because you're afraid of something. So there are few common panic attack types. The most common panic attack type is the heart attack version, where you think you're getting heart attack. So honey, if you're like a 17-year-old, very unlikely that you're getting a heart attack because you're not old and stuff. The symptoms are very real. The thing you need to remember when you're having a panic attack is you're not dying. No one has ever died of a panic attack, because yes, it might seem like your arms paining and your chest is paining and that's like literally all the symptoms of heart attack, but you're not dying. So if you remember that, you will panic less. So these are just ways to remember that you're not dying, because if you think you're dying, then the panic just increases and your body will go into really rigid modes where you will feel numb, where you can't move your body and you feel like you're hyperventilating. So the most important thing to know about a panic attack attack is you're not dying, you will not die, you cannot die. No one has ever died of a panic attack. There's no first. I hope there isn't. So apart from like the heart attack version, my mom gets this thing called blood pressure version, where you feel like you're fainting. I mean, you actually do faint. You feel giddy, you feel nauseous, you feel like you want to just lie down and stuff. And the best thing to do when you feel that coming is to lie down. Do not sit somewhere, because sitting is the most dangerous position to have in a sort of panic mode, because you could fall and break your bones and stuff. So lie down on the floor. It's okay even if you're in like a freaking restaurant or something. Tell your partner or your waiter or somebody like, okay, I'm having a panic attack, I'm gonna lie down on the floor. If you can, if you have time, if you know that you're getting it, and if you feel like you're nauseous and you're like, oh my god, it's coming, lie down on the floor. But tell someone so that they don't think you're actually freaking dying or something, and call 911 and you're taken to a hospital or something. But if you can't, that's fine, still lie down on the floor. Okay, let's talk about symptoms. So those are just ways you get the panic attack, right? Like the heart attack version, the blood pressure version, and I don't know the other versions, because those are just the two most common ones. I think the heart attack version is the most common one. Everyone seems to get that, the fact that they can't breathe and stuff. And the blood pressure version, the only person I've ever heard of getting it is my mom. Okay, now let's talk about symptoms. Basically every disease or thing that happens in this world has symptoms, right? COVID also. But common symptoms of a panic attack are shortness of breath, the numbness of your hands and legs. So the numbness of your hands and legs, now that's the important one, because shortness of breath can come from a lot of things. If you have the wheeze, and if you normally have asthma and stuff, shortness of breath is very common, so you might just ignore it as a asthma attack or something, I don't know. But numbness of hands and legs is a really important one to understand that you're having a panic attack, because when you're panicking, you can slowly feel your hands tingle, your legs tingle, and like it's slowly getting tight, like when you're numb and stuff. Like the whole I feel like it's glittering thing. Like when I was a kid, I used to think that my hands becoming numb was the fact that my hands are glittering. That was the most dumbest explanation actually. So anyways, so your hands get tingly, your legs get tingly, and that's one of the most common ways you can figure out that okay, now I'm going to a panic attack, now let's stay calm. In the rare occasions like blood pressure panic attack, you get nauseous and you feel giddy. So it's always good if you're feeling giddy and nauseous and stuff to just lie down on the floor. Yeah, those are the most common symptoms that you need to watch out for. The next tips, which is what to do when you're getting a panic attack, because obviously there are remedies that you can do to make sure that you're kind of overcoming the fear of the panic and stuff. The first and most obvious option is try to stay calm. Now I know this is literally freaking cliche, like, okay bitch, I'm having a panic attack, but you can stay calm. Okay, I'm sorry to break it down to you honey, but you have to be calm, because if you're not calm, like I said, you're going into more panic, and that's just alarm bells everywhere, like, okay, body's panicking, she's panicking, let's go, overkill. And then you go into extreme measures. So if you want to not go into extreme measures, you need to train yourself to be freaking calm. So I know that's freaking hard when you're panicking, so these are some things that you can do to make sure you're not panicking. Let your body panic, but just don't let your mind panic, because if you do that, it's only when you go into like extreme modes and you feel like you're dying. Now the most common, why do I freaking keep saying the most common? Comment down below how many times I said the most common. I feel like it's at least 1,000. Yet again, I have to say the most common thing that you can do when you're having a panic attack is breathe into a paper bag. Now you might not even know that this was a remedy for a panic attack, because every time something happens in a TV show or like someone breaks up with someone or something, have you seen people breathe into it and stuff, like the panic attack thing, like Janice from Friends. I will insert a clip of her doing that now.
Fine, yeah, breathe. Did you get me a bag or something?
Like, did you see that? That is her having a panic attack. She's breathing into a paper bag, because I don't know the scientific thing as to why you have to breathe into a paper bag, but breathing into a paper bag is actually very good for a panic attack, and it just allows you to breathe more naturally or something like that. I'm not gonna explain the details because I don't know, but breathe into a freaking paper bag. That's the easiest method to get rid of a panic attack. Breathing into a paper bag. If you feel like you're somebody who gets panic attacks regularly, maybe it's okay to keep a paper bag in your bag, you know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily have to be you that gets a panic attack. Anytime that someone you know goes into a panic mode, you can quickly give them a paper bag and be like, breathe into this. It's always good to, help out somebody else even. Now that's the most common one, but let's talk about other things you can do when you don't have a paper bag. Wiggle your fingers and toes. So just wiggle them when you feel like the numbness is coming. Like when you feel like your things are tingling, then just wiggle your hands and toes. Keep wiggling them until it goes. That rhymed. Oh my god, that rhymed. Breathe from your nose and let it out from your mouth. How to do that? You just It's hard, but you take away your, like, you focus on the breathing instead of the panic attack, and it kind of helps. And also the fact that your breathing helps, because when you have a panic attack, you need to breathe slowly, not like that makes it worse. Do not take small, long, small, fast breaths. Do not breathe fast. Breathe slow. Just, it's important to be freaking slow at this point. Be as slow as you want, and take slow breaths from your nose, like I was saying. Close your eyes and focus on something. There's this thing called the 5 method of, like, name 5 things you see, name 5 things you hear, name 5 things you feel, or something like that. I'll put it on the screen here because I'm not exactly sure about the last one. But what you need to do is just, okay, the last one is name 5 body parts. So it's like, okay, cupboard, dress, bag, iPad, bottle. And then you move on to things you hear, like crow screaming, trees rustling, the fan, the noise from that plane that's going, and something else, let's say. And then name 5 body parts, like hair, hands, legs, face, eyes, I don't know. And you just keep going until you feel like the panic attack's going away. That's just one remedy. The 5 method, like the 5-5-5 method. Counting in 3s. Now this is something I saw in Alex and Katie, the TV show. In that they say count in 3s. So you count backwards in 3s from the 100. So like it's 100, 97, 94, 91. So me being somebody who loves maths and is good at maths, counting in 3s for me is like literally counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's freaking easy. And I finish counting in 3s in like 2 seconds, and then I'm like, oh my god, now what am I supposed to do? If you're someone who's really familiar with the 3 method, maybe count in a bizarre way. Like I count back from 10,000 in 17. So it's like 9,983. I'm not even sure. So I count like that in 17s because it's freaking hard to count back in 17s. Then I'm just more focused on counting and not so much focused on the panic attack, right? Pick a number, pick something that's really hard for you to do, like maybe count back from 10,000 in like 233s. And then distract yourself. Apparently it's good to just watch a funny video or something if you can hold your phone, or get someone to tell you something funny, you know. It's really cool if you have a person next to you and that person knows you're having a panic attack, because they can help you distract yourself. If you're someone who's watching somebody else having a panic attack, make them laugh, tell something funny, you know, engage with their stuff, because that helps them be with you and not be with the panic attack. So in case you're having a panic attack, remember these. You know, I think the most important thing that you can do when you're having a panic attack is to breathe to the paper bag. And if you don't have a paper bag, then just do the counting method, you know, count back in whatever number you want. Now that you know what to do when you're having a panic attack, what is a panic attack, and you know, like how to help someone when you're having a panic attack or when they're having a panic attack, is that 1, 2, and 3. Now the 4th one was my personal experience. So the first ever time I got a panic attack was during COVID, and my chest started hurting and my arms started hurting, and I thought I was gonna die, and then I thought I was gonna have COVID. It was a really bad experience. But then after that, every time I get a panic attack, I know that I'm having a panic attack, and it's not that me dying and stuff. Honey, if you're like really small, if you're like 12, 15, 20, unless you're in the 50s, like the 40s, there's no way you're gonna get a heart attack, I think. So there's nothing to worry about. That's what I keep telling myself, at least. The first ever time you get a panic attack is really scary because you don't know what it's about and you're dying and stuff. So now that you watch this video, if you ever feel like heart pain, chest pain and stuff, definitely a panic attack. But it's always good to tell your mom or someone who's next to you so that it's safe in case it's not a panic attack, you know, because 1 in a million, it could not be a panic attack, it could be something else. So always just tell someone around you, because then they can also help you, you know, kind of gain control after the panic attack. And it's kind of okay to tell people so that they can help you. And someone in the bus could have a paper bag that you could breathe into. So always, if you're in a public place or with friends or in a classroom, just tell your teacher or someone that you're having a panic attack, and for them to not worry if you're already, you know, really good at handling it. Because I think if you do all these tips, and if you're someone who gets panic attacks regularly, it's important to learn how to control it yourself. So that's why doing these exercises help you. so that you don't have to go into the really bad version of a panic attack. Sometimes I get panic attacks in the night when I'm like lying in bed and I get breathing issues and stuff, and what I do then is I grab my phone, I watch a YouTube video and I laugh. I watch We Bear Bears and stuff. Might not be the ideal option, but you know, it kind of helps me breathe and stuff, so it helps me take my mind off things. So if you have like those go-to cartoon and stuff, just watch random Barbie episodes, man. You might hate it, but then you're at least focused on the fact that you hate the TV show and not about the fact that you're panicking about something else. And one last thing that you need to know is, please honey, if you regularly keep getting panic attacks, it's probably because you're anxious about something, or you have depression or anxiety. So I suggest you go get tested. Please go to your psychiatrist or therapist, talk about it, tell her that you've been getting a lot of panic attacks recently, and she might give you medicine. It's as simple as actually taking a pill for it, because sometimes it's anxiety and you need to take medication for it to keep it under control, you know what I mean? Go tell someone, tell your mom or dad or someone to take you and explain to them what's happening, and they might actually, you know, diagnose you with something. Me actually, they've never actually diagnosed me with anything because they keep telling me that I don't have anxiety, I just have mild anxiety. That's why I get mild panic attacks. I hope that's it, but I don't want to ever get the hardest version of panic attacks. And if you're watching this, I hope, I pray, I manifest that you never get to experience it ever again in your life. And if you haven't experienced it, be grateful that you haven't. I hope you like this video. I actually hope you learned something from this. If you did, subscribe to those videos, but also share it with a friend, share it with anyone, because it's always important that people around you know what a panic attack is. It's always really cool to help people in need. So please share this, and if you really did learn something, or if you want to share your panic attack experience with me, you know, any tips that you do that to like, you know, get out of it and stuff, put it in the comments or just DM me and stuff, because I would like to know. I could make a part 2 of it if you want to and stuff. So yay! Also, Happy New Year, guys. I think this is gonna be released on like the 7th of January and stuff. But still, Happy New Year, because this is the first video I'm making in the new year. I love you. Thank you so much for supporting me in everything that I do. You guys are the best, and I will see you next time.